after school started, my mom said she'd give me $1,500 for living expenses, but it turned into $800. I cautiously asked if she could give me a bit more. She exploded. "I don't have money now. Wouldn't I give it to you if I had it?" Then she posted online, "My daughter doesn't understand our family's struggles. She demands $1,500 every month. I just gave her a bit less this month and she argues with me. What should I do?" Plenty of netizens sided with her. These days there are ungrateful daughters like this. Cut her off and she'll settle. "Auntie, I only get $500 a month. With $1,500 I could eat like royalty every day." She proudly showed me those comments. "See, I'm lowering your allowance to $500. You can fend for yourself." Later, when she wanted me to support her, I sent her $500 a month, the minimum living expense. But she regretted it. "How come you're only giving me $500 when you earn so much?" When I started college, my mom transferred $800 to me and said if it wasn't enough, I should ask for more. By mid-month, when I asked, she said, "Why do you spend money so quickly? From now on, I'll only give you $800 a month." I was confused. Starting school meant I had to buy bed sheets, water card, electricity card, and pay for books and medical exams. That already costs over $600, and I had showed her all these expenses. She was impatient and told me to ask her if I ran out of money. Now, the school was asking for accident insurance fees, and my advisor said everyone needs to pay $400. I sent her a screenshot and carefully asked, "Mom, it's the start of the school year. There are a lot of expenses. Can you give me a bit more?" She got furious. "You spend money too fast. I don't have any now. Would I not give it to you if I did? Accident insurance. What danger could there possibly be if you just stay at school? I bet you're just finding excuses to ask for more." I replied, feeling wronged. "That's not it, Mom. Everyone else is paying for this insurance. Just tell your advisor your parents are aware but refuse to pay. Don't play tricks at your young age. I don't even have a penny now and you're pushing me." I wanted to push a little more since this was about my college living expenses. So I spoke nicely, "Mom, I calculated it. A day at school costs at least $40. $800 isn't enough for basic expenses. Can you give me $300 more? You don't have to give it to me now. Send it when you can, okay?" She called. "I've said I don't have money. Are you trying to drive me crazy? We still have your younger brother in high school. Your father and I are under a lot of pressure. You're an adult, I legally don't even need to give you an allowance anymore, you know that? No other family lets their daughter go to college. Save where you can. You have $800 a month, plan with that. Don't try getting more from me." She said all this and hung up. I was sitting in my dorm holding my phone, feeling lost. What now? There's still half a month left, and her $800 was already gone with all those payments. The spare cash I saved is just $20. Living expenses had been agreed upon from the start. Grandma was so happy when she found out I got into a top university. She asked my parents in front of everyone how much they'd give me every month. They promised $1,500. I never thought my mom would back out. With $20 in this place, even the cheapest steamed rice roll costs $6. I can barely get through a day. I texted Dad. "Mom isn't giving me the rest of my allowance. I only have $20 left. Can you help?" After a long while he replied, "Your mom controls the money. I can't do anything." I felt utterly hopeless, so they both agreed. His words admitted my mom's inconsistency. I had to come up with a plan myself. First, I told my teacher I wouldn't be getting the accident insurance. Then I found the student advisor and asked if there were any part-time job groups I could join. The advisor was really helpful and soon added me to a part-time courier pickup group. In there, a small package fetched $3 and a large one $10. I grabbed 3 small deliveries. I immediately ran downstairs to the pickup station. Our school's package station is huge. Regular stations only have about a dozen shelves, but ours has 800. Plus, it's far from the dorms. So the package pickup prices aren't cheap. It's the start of school. The station was packed like sardines. And those 3 deliveries were all in different dorm areas. After spinning in circles fetching them, I delivered one by one. When I got back, an hour had gone by. But thankfully, I had my meal money for tomorrow. Before bed, I asked my roommates if they needed packages picked up. I do it for $2 each. The next day, my mom sent me a screenshot with comments from a post she made. She was still upset after hanging up. She posted on some platform, My daughter doesn't understand our struggles. She demands $1,500 every month. This month I'm under too much pressure, gave a little less, and she argued with me. What should I do? One time my phone died and I used her phone to log into that platform. So she posted using my account. This page had my selfies, group photos with friends. So everyone thought the young woman was being cryptic. Many replied, in this day and age, an ungrateful daughter like hers, cutting off her allowance will teach her a lesson. Auntie, I get only $500 a month. $1,500 is excessive. I say $600 is enough. Spend $100 on sleeping pills, $500 on an ambulance. What? College students need allowance? I just mooch my friends' meals and water cards. Costs nothing. Mom smugly said, see, I'm lowering your allowance to $500, so fend for yourself. I looked at that line and thought deeply. I know they aren't good to me, but why this bad? She struggled before, pinching pennies, had a hard time going to college. She often told me how tough it was back then. So is her daughter supposed to go through the same hardship? Clearly, things can be much better now. Why would anyone want their daughter to go through the same struggles they did back in the day? The next day, I asked my teacher for a financial aid application. But frankly, I didn't stand a chance against those who were truly in need. Because honestly, my family wasn't really struggling. In the parents' income section, well, one of them's a teacher, the other works for the government. Their combined monthly income with benefits is over 10 grand. The so-called pressure comes from my mom insisting her precious son attend a private school. That school's tuition is a whopping 10 grand a year. Even with that major expense, my parents could comfortably support me with a $1,500 monthly allowance as a college student. The teacher sighed at my application, Linda, your family's not in a rough spot. Why try for this? Plus, you don't qualify for aid. I was on the verge of tears. My mom only gives me $500 a month for living expenses. Without aid, I can't make it. I looked into part-time jobs at the school cafeteria, but they prioritize students in need. I really needed that in need status. The teacher seemed a bit uncomfortable. Linda, I'll submit it, but I gotta warn you, your chances aren't good. I nodded and sighed, thanks, teacher. I'll think of something else. Then the teacher suggested you could apply for a student loan. The deadline is at the end of the month. That could work. Thankfully, I thanked the teacher and went back to my dorm to apply for a loan. It takes a while to get approved for a loan. I went from dining hall to dining hall. Finally found a place at the rice bowl counter. $13 an hour. 1 hour at lunch and another in the afternoon. The kitchen was sweltering, so most students couldn't handle it. But hey, they provide meals. That took care of my food issue. Funnily enough, I got the job because someone else was about to pass out from the heat, and I arrived at the right time to take over. $26 a day. After evening study sessions, I'd help classmates pick up packages. Usually made it back to the dorm 10 minutes before lights out. Earned $30 to $40 a day. Not much, but enough to get by temporarily. Then the next month came around. My mom really only sent me $500. And she said, make it last. The family's under a lot of pressure. At the same time, I scrolled through X platform and saw a post from my brother. They treated themselves to a fancy restaurant. The post caption was, parents are the best. I just mentioned I wanted to eat at the city's most expensive buffet, and they took me there. I screenshot that X platform post. With that name visible, I found the restaurant. $399 a person. My part-time gigs barely earn me $1,000 a month. Package deliveries are competitive. Sometimes I don't get any work in a day. Meanwhile, their buffet splurge costs $1,200 for the 3 of them. I refreshed and that post disappeared. Guess my brother realized he hadn't blocked me and deleted it. I refused to accept the $500. Instead, I shared those screenshots in our family group chat and wrote, Uncle and aunties, know anyone looking for a daughter-in-law? I'll marry for $1,000 a month after I graduate just to cover meals. I didn't actually plan to sell myself for $1,000. But if they're gonna act like this, why bother saving face for them? Let's all face the music together. I'm not a public figure, and I'm not an adult. This family group has over 40 people. More than 10 families. Once I sent the screenshots, it created an uproar. The couple got called out by the elders. What's going on? Why is the child forced to fend for herself? Not to be judgmental, but are you two favoring Ken too much? Spending $400 on his meals but only sending Linda $500 a month? Pushing her to this extent, what if she strays onto the wrong path? Didn't we agree at the last dinner to give Linda $1,500 a month? Did I get it wrong? Linda, your uncle's sending you $200. Use it as pocket money, but please don't say you'll marry for $1K. Yes, Aunt 2 will add another $200. Let's chip in. Maybe the third family's really struggling if they can't support a college student's expenses. The couple was embarrassed like never before. After seeing the group messages, my mom kept calling me. Texted me to retract my message. Why are you saying such nonsense in the group? Did I ever suggest you should sell yourself? I just sent a bit less, retract it, and I'll send you $1,000. Withdraw it, why are you causing us embarrassment? I didn't respond at all. Instead, I sarcastically thanked the uncles and aunties in the group. Thanks so much, dear elders. I truly can't make it through school without your help. After last month's fees, I only have $20 left. Eating just 2 buns a day, watching my roommates eat meat every meal. I'm so envious. Sigh, my mom says it's tough supporting 2 kids' education, always telling me to cut back. Today I saw my brother's post. They had a $1,200 meal. Here I want to publicly ask Mom and Dad, is our family really that tight on money? If it were so tough, why have me? You brought me into this world only to neglect me. Why don't you go die? With shaky hands fueled by anger, I sent that last sentence. A wave of relief washed over me. I didn't care about that $500 anymore. I've got my limbs, I won't starve to death. As soon as I sent it, the group went silent. That group was actually created with my grandma's phone. As far as I know, my uncle's household is taking care of her now. And he's at work with no access to grandma's phone. So my parents couldn't kick me out of the group. Seeing no way out, they had to play it cool in the group. If Linda were home, we'd take her out too. It's just that she's away at college. Me, you brought me into this world and you don't even take care of me. Why don't you just die? Mom. Linda, are you crazy? When have I ever treated you badly at home? Me, you brought me into this world and you don't even take care of me. Why don't you just die? Dad jumped in too, yelling at me. Every time he said something, I'd fire back. You brought me into this world and you don't even take care of me. Why don't you just die? Then my little brother saw the chat group messages and tagged me. Sis, you're so ungrateful. Mom and Dad are so upset because of you. They raised you and worked hard. Why be like this? Fighting like family means something. I typed with a sneer. Oh, forgot to roast you too, you little brat. They raised me? I was the one taking care of your mom during her postpartum just for you, you brat. I was only 5 when she made me take a month off from school to look after her. She said a postpartum nanny was too expensive. I started primary school a year late because of them. If you're that broke, why do you bother living? Why not just end it all? At 7, I had chores to earn my breakfast money. One chore earned me a measly dime. I'd come home after classes to endless cleaning and cooking. What, are you guys crippled that a little kid has to do it for you? I didn't report you for child abuse because I have a kind heart. Dad sent a furious voice message. Linda, just wait. I'm buying a ticket to your school now. You've forgotten all your lessons, haven't you? I'll show you a beating when I get there. I boldly typed back. Come on then, I'll be waiting with a knife. Bring 1, I'll stab 1. Bring 2, I'll stab 2. Living is already hard enough for me. Why not just drag you all down with me? Let's see how your precious son handles a sister with a criminal record in the family. Idiots. Mom. Since you don't want to be our daughter, we won't acknowledge you either. Don't come to us for anything anymore. We'll act like you don't exist. I typed my final message. Would be delighted, let your precious boy take care of you when you're old. Just don't come to me. Then I left the group chat. Screw this toxic family, I don't need it. If it weren't for needing to go to school and being incapable before, I would have been gone long ago. But it's not too late now. I logged into my account, posted a new thread. That last post about living expenses was from my mom. I've taken back my account. That previous post wasn't a joke either. My mom did only send me $800 and then $500 the next month. I've cut ties with my birth family. It's my choice and I'm glad I took this step. From now on, it's just me. Wish me luck. Attached were screenshots from the chat group. I just didn't want my mom using my account to post after our fight. Little did I know, this post struck a chord with many girls. Many girls comforted me for leaving a bad situation behind. Others shared their own unhappy experiences with their families under the post. One comment brought tears to my eyes instantly. Little fish swim freely towards 4 directions. While sweating out in the little kitchen at the rice bowl place, I held back tears. I didn't cry while fighting with my family in the group chat. But seeing that line, I crouched and cried, hands covering my face. Luckily, my roommates were all in the dorm. Seeing my state, they crowded around asking what happened. Someone patted my back. Another wiped my tears. After a good cry, I felt a lot lighter inside. I stopped crying and gave them a big smile. I'm fine, just really happy. Thank you guys. Though they seemed skeptical, I reassured them softly. I'm really okay, I'm just really happy. I'm free now. Finally convinced, my roommates went back to their own things. Lucky for me, after posting, a woman in Southtown reached out. She offered to hire me for tutoring her 4th grade kids' homework on weekends. $50 an hour, 1.5 hours each day on Saturdays and Sundays. I figured the commute, it wasn't far. Just a half-hour subway ride. So I took the job. Upon arriving at her place, I saw it was just her and her daughter, no husband in sight. Her name's Lily, and maybe she guessed my curiosity, so she smiled and said, I'm divorced. Before I could say anything more, she explained, we were married 10 years. I was a stay-at-home mom for those 10 years. Until one day I couldn't wash dishes 'cause of a cut, and he mocked me. My daughter ended up washing the dishes. He stood there saying how our daughter was such a keeper, and should demand a big bridal price when she marries. I couldn't take it. I asked my daughter whom she wanted to live with after a divorce. She chose me, so I went through with it. During the divorce, he called me crazy for leaving with nothing but a useless girl. But I know what I endured, my child shouldn't have to. Not knowing how to comfort her, I admired her bravery. She waved it off casually, introducing me to her daughter. This is Linda, she'll help you with homework. Ask her if you don't understand anything. The girl's name is Lucy. I changed her last name, you can call her Lucy. Then she told me, exasperated. It's hard for me to tutor her. I want to live longer, I trust you. Lucy was adorable, sweetly calling me big sister. I smiled and responded, then sat with her at the desk to help her catch up. Lucy's bright, but a bit inattentive, often missing details and questions. I noted down her issues and targeted them one by one. When we finished, it was nearing dinner time. I marked what she'd be checked on the next day, said my goodbyes, and prepared to leave. Lily brought out the dishes, stopping me. Stay for dinner before you go. I hesitated. It's fine, I can eat back at school. She insisted. School food's never as good as mine. Stay, we'll be seeing each other frequently, nothing to be shy about. So I stayed for dinner. Lily fussed over me, piling my plate with food. Eat more, don't skimp on yourself at school. Your health is your biggest asset. Spend money on good food. I promised repeatedly, a wave of emotion swelling in my eyes. Even someone I barely know is trying so hard to be nice to me. So, my family, it felt like it was just the three of us. No matter how hard I tried to please them or be obedient, I just couldn't fit in. I overheard my parents talking once. Mom, are we going to let Linda go to college? We'll have to spend money on her schooling. Dad, sure, let her go. If she does well, it'll make us look good. Tuition is only $5,000 a year. We can afford it. Besides, we both have steady jobs. It'd be embarrassing if people asked why she wasn't going. Mom. All right, let's have her tutor Ken over the breaks. That'll save us some money on tutoring. Just like that, my chance to go to college was decided. Mainly because of their pride. I tutored Lucy diligently. After the midterms, her grades improved quite a bit. Lily, Lucy's sister, was pleased and asked if I wanted to take on more tutoring jobs. A friend of hers heard about Lucy's progress and wanted a tutor as well. She even helped negotiate the rate to $60 an hour. Since it was nearby, I agreed immediately. Using just my weekends, I could earn $1,300 a month, plus I had a cafeteria job from Monday to Friday. That made it $1,800 a month, which was enough for me to get by. Finally, I could breathe a little. The student loan came through too. Any leftover money went into savings. During winter break, I stayed on campus and worked as a substitute teacher at a tutoring center. Over the break, I made $4,000. My dad, who once threatened to come to school and confront me, never showed up. They say those without shoes don't fear those with them. He'd made it to near retirement and probably didn't want to risk me exposing him. When school started again, I quit my cafeteria job. But I continued part-time work collecting packages since I had returning customers. It was a stable $30 a day. I treated my roommates to dinner to thank them for looking out for me the last semester. To help me earn more, they'd often pass me their package collection work, casually saying that I was a lifesaver for collecting all those packages so they could rest. Leaving home, I realized everyone I met was so kind. By my second semester, I was living a bit better than before. I didn't need to do chores every day in exchange for breakfast. I didn't face scolding every time I asked my parents for tuition money. I could split a milk tea with my roommates or eat out occasionally. I could finally afford to treat myself a little better. When I graduated college, I'd saved up $50,000. With that savings, I partnered up with my roommate, Sunny. We both pitched in $50,000. Before graduation, we brainstormed for a long time. Finally, we decided to sell portable neck fans. Our target customers were students and office workers. We self-taught business operations, spending days at factories negotiating profits and wholesale deals. After a week, we found a brand with good quality and price. We marketed through videos and worked with influencers for promotion. We got lucky with a few videos going viral. In a few days, we sold 20,000 units, consistently making 2,000 sales a day. But bad luck hit when competitors reported us, freezing our store funds for 3 months. Unable to cover the factory payments, Sunny got $150,000 from her parents and an extra $50,000 on her credit card. We still fell short by $20,000. I maxed out my credit card and borrowed from friends, but still needed $3,000 more. I hesitated but reached out to Lily to borrow the $3,000. She quickly replied saying, "You rarely ask for help. Wait 2 days and I'll send it to you." True to her word, she transferred the money 2 days later. I thanked her profusely and filled the funding gap. As summer turned to fall, fan sales dwindled and our frozen funds were released. Sunny and I calculated our profits. Despite the initial scrambling, we made $1 million over the summer. We hugged and cried in our small rented place, finally feeling relief. I paid off credit card debts and returned money to friends. I also gave each of them a generous red envelope and a small gift. Then I took a gift set to Lily's place, joyfully giving her an extra $2,000. She waved it off, saying no need, only taking the $3,000 she lent me. Despite her reluctance, I insisted she accept it. I told her that she felt more like my sister than family did, helping ever since my first year, being more than just kin. After a lot of tutoring Lucy, I understood that her struggles were more about her mom, a single parent with a tight budget, sometimes not getting child support from her ex. Lily didn't really need a tutor for Lucy. She was just helping me with dignity in my rough situation. Knowing Lucy improved, she kept me on and referred me to her friends. Eventually Lily agreed, saying, "If you see me as your sister, I'll just save this $2,000 for you. Whenever you need it, just ask." Over dinner, curious, I asked Sis. Back then I was too busy to ask, "Where'd you get the money?" She chuckled, "I got it from my ex. He kept dodging child support, so I camped out at his workplace and wouldn't budge until he paid up. It caught his boss's attention, leaving him no choice but to pay." I was filled with mixed emotions, finally sighing, "You're amazing, sis." Through summers selling fans and winters selling heaters, 2 years passed. Sunny and I started a company with over 100 employees. My mom somehow found out about my success, trying to reach me only to discover I'd blocked the whole family. She had to relay messages through relatives expressing how much they missed me. An aunt called, saying my parents regretted losing touch, often weeping in my old room. I cut her off, asking, "Auntie, when did my parents ask you to call?" My aunt paused for a moment. "Just yesterday, why?" I smiled and said, "I've blocked them for 6 years, and it took them that long to realize they can't contact me? What happened? Did they get into a car accident and become vegetative until they woke up yesterday? Plus, I don't have a room." As soon as I left for college, they turned my room into a study for the prince to study. My aunt found it hard to argue and sighed, "Actually, it's because something happened to your family, and your parents insisted that I make this call." That's when I got interested. What happened? Through my aunt's words, I gradually learned about things over the past few years. After Ken went to college, he got hooked on gambling. First, he just used his allowance to play around a bit. But then he started losing more and asked the family for money under various excuses. Things like having a girlfriend, needing money for her abortion, or hitting someone and owing 20 grand in compensation. It started from being a couple of $100 and moved up to thousands, then eventually the 20,000 for hitting someone. My parents were worried sick, afraid their precious son got injured or was being blackmailed. They went to Ken's college to find him and wanted him to take them to the hospital to check on the person he hit. Ken had no choice, realized he couldn't hide it anymore, and confessed that he had been gambling. The news crushed my parents. How could their well-behaved kid get into gambling? Things were bad enough, so they stopped giving him anything beyond basic living expenses and forced him to stop gambling. Ken promised them, deleting all gambling apps on his phone right before their eyes. As soon as they got home, he turned around and borrowed money for gambling from loan sharks. The interest kept piling. He maxed out the borrowing apps on his phone. 6 months later, the debt collectors were calling his parents. My parents were even more devastated and riddled with worry. The day after, they forcibly took Ken home, taking unpaid leave from work, and stayed with him, trying to figure out how much he owed. Ken initially said $10,000. Then he hesitated and said $20,000. Dad directly took his phone and checked himself. Altogether, it was at least $150,000. He even mortgaged an apartment under his name. That apartment was his coming-of-age gift from our parents. Ken cried and begged for their help to pay off the debt. What could they do? He's their only son. Reluctantly, they used up all their savings, but it wasn't enough to cover the debt. The debt collectors even found their home address and camped at their doorsteps, making it impossible for them to go to work. Eventually, they sold their house and car, and the three of them moved into a small rented place. They heard from someone that I had money now and started a business, which was why they reached out to me again. Wow, hearing this news warmed my heart. Ken was barely 3 years old when his parents left him in my care. He would play airplane games on his dad's phone, and reviving the game cost $1 each time. He would keep pressing like it didn't cost a thing, and when I tried to stop him, he would cry his head off. Dad heard the crying and came over, thinking I was bullying him, and scolded me harshly. I told him that Ken was playing games on his phone and incurring charges, and that he should be taught not to spend money recklessly. Dad said, "So what if my son spends money on some games? If he wants the moon, I'll get it for him." Well, now Ken doesn't want the moon. He wants to drain them dry. I sent a $200 transfer to thank my aunt, asking her to tell my parents that I wouldn't give them any money, just my life if they wanted, or they could make a scene if they had the guts. If we can live, we live. If not, we can all go down together. No matter whom they send to talk to me, I'm not giving them any money. My parents were so angry that they wanted to sue me, saying that even if there wasn't any merit, there was hard work in raising me all these years. I don't care, told them to go ahead and sue for alimony. When the court ruling came, it said I only needed to give them $500 a month. My mom was furious. Really? You earn so much and you're only giving us $500 a month? How's that enough to live on? I shrugged and said, so what? When I was in college, you didn't ask if $500 was enough, take it or leave it or just drop it. I was at a loss, holding my phone in the dorm room. My parents didn't dare to let Ken return to school, afraid he'd gamble again. They could only file for a leave of absence for him, and took his phone and everything that could connect to the internet. The two of them took turns taking time off to keep an eye on him. The three of them were cramped in the tiny place, not allowing Ken to leave the room. At first it was fine, but with time Ken started feeling restless. During an argument where Dad tried to stop Ken from going out, a furious Ken stabbed him, grabbed the phone hidden on him and fled. When Mom came home from work and saw Dad bleeding profusely on the floor, she was paralyzed with fear but came to her senses enough to ask the neighbors to help rush him to the hospital. Dad was in a coma from blood loss, and after a day and night of rescuing, they revived him. His first words when he woke up were to my mom, "Don't bother with him anymore. Just consider him dead." The two of them cried their hearts out. I silently watched everything from the door of the hospital room. I had already been notified when the emergency happened. I pulled out $500 and asked the nurse to give it to them. "This is the support for this month. Please give this $500 to the patient in the room. I have some other matters to attend to." Then I left. Not long after, the crying inside grew louder, filled with endless regret. What does any of this have to do with me? It's all self-inflicted. I only love myself. Always have, always will. The end.